All right. Welcome to another thing where I talk about things. Yeah, I'm doing I'm doing Greg's thing. Let's talk about another thing where I talk about things. Okay. Well, today I'm going to be talking about two movies. I mean, they suck. I'm going to be honest. These movies are bad. I would not recommend watching them. But I am a horror movie junkie, so I have them. Two movies in particular I want to talk about. They're really similar. The Reeds and The Abandoned. Both of these are part of the After Dark Horror Fest from different years, but they're very similar. Let's talk about the Reeds first. The Reeds takes place on this marsh field. I think it's a marsh among the reeds, right? Because it's called the Reeds. But okay, so this group of friends, right? They're going out and they're gonna be on the Reeds for a while. They're just gonna have a nice trip across the Reeds to get to a bar. I mean, they weren't gonna originally go across the Reeds the way they did, but they did. And they were headed to a bar, but on the way to the bar, things go awry. the the boat they're on stops because it's halted, and then they get stuck, and bad things happen. Now that seems like a good plot so far. Everything seems fine. They get stuck. They're bending the reeds. Things can happen. Uh, Badly though. They happen badly. Here's what I mean. Uh, you can think it's going to be like a drama or like an emotional study on these characters, but no, no. These characters are actually you don't like them. You don't like any of them. Not even the main character, which is a lady who I forgot the name of. But here's the thing: one of them is just an outright abusive asshole, and he's also someone you're supposed to care about when he dies. I don't really care about abusive assholes when they die in horror movies. This is a horror movie. Why should I really care about the people that die? I go into this expecting people to die. I'm hoping the ones that are bad people die. But there's also ghosts. So they're an outside force, sort of. So there's these group of kids or whatever that are also in the reeds outside of them, like they're the ghost kids or whatever. And it's like, hey, help us. Oh no, they're ghosts. Yada yada, yeah, that kind of stuff. And I'm just gonna ruin the movie ending for you. They're all dead. They've always been dead. No one exists. Here's the worst part about it. In one of those kids is the main character's mother. One of the children is the main character's mother, which I don't understand. I really don't. She died as a child, grew up still after being killed in the reeds, and then the daughter, who was a full-grown adult, comes back to the reeds and is also tormented by a time loop. These ghosts are in a time loop, by the way. I forgot to mention that. There's a time loop. And there's this hunter guy who's also one of the ghosts, but he's just like, oh, I just don't think I can explain anything to anyone, so I'm just gonna kill him for fun. And it's like, why would you do this? First of all, the time loop thing. You did not need to have a time loop. And the mother being one of the ghosts, that did not need to be a thing. They could have been separate people. It would have been so much better if they were separate people, but okay. The ghost kids, they're out, they're burning stuff, they're also attacking the main cast from the boat. And everyone just slowly dies, and the last girl is the one left, and then she walks away from the set of the movie, and it turns out nope, she's not going away. She's actually back in the beginning of the movie. What did you know? What do you know? What do you know? But the ghost thing I think was really lazy, especially the time loop and the mother being one of the children, because that makes no sense. It only confuses you and leaves you going, well, that was awful. Okay, one of the children that's one of the ghosts is the mother of the main girl. The main girl's in the reeds. The hunter is hunting her. Doesn't feel the need to explain anything that's going on while he's killing them. He's just trying to kill them. Um, and there's this really boring, like, 15 minutes where the hunter is looking around for like two of them, and it's boring. It's just boring. There's the music is trying to make you think it's important, but no, you don't care. It's awful. I love horror movies. I love this movie. I shouldn't actually tell you that I hate it because I do love this movie. It's hilarious. I love it for that premise, but it's a bad horror movie. It's a bad horror movie. I'm sorry. Who? I, gosh, I have this. used 5.99 sticker over the name of the person who made it. Oh, great. Uh, Whoever the heck. So, right, the ghosts in that one. And then there's also another one here called The Abandoned that I want to talk about. It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing, because, okay, so this lady, she gets her, like, parents' house after they die. She was in another country. Her parents die, and so she gets the house. And the house is a time looping place. Wouldn't you know it? With ghosts, too. Wouldn't you know who the ghosts are? Her father. Her father. Right, okay. And this is also one of the 8 films to die for. So I also don't see where the name of the person is on it. It's not there. Okay, this one did have a making of. I didn't watch it because I really didn't care about the movie. I would have if I cared. I only really care about director's commentaries, and there wasn't one for that. So she goes to the house, right? She gets left there by the guy who drove her there, because obviously. Um, then she's in there for maybe a night. Well, not a night. She goes in, sees a double of herself, which, by the way, that's pointless. There's no reason for it. It just happens. There's a double of herself, and yeah, that doesn't come up. There's a double of herself. Tries to kill her, just like in The Shining, when there's that lady in the bathtub that tries to strangle Jack and like Danny. I pretty much imagine that trying to happen. But then there's this guy who comes in with a gun. Turns out he's her brother. Makes no sense. But no, actually, it doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking about it now. It really doesn't make any sense because, okay, so it's revealed that the place is haunted by her father, her mother, and all that, and like some, I think it was a cow? No, pigs. It was haunted by pigs. And the pigs. Okay, so this couple had like one baby before the mother died, but somehow there's a brother, and it's all a very convoluted mess because turns out the father that's haunting the house was also the one in the other city who signed the paperwork and gave her the house in person with paperwork in a building that she had to go to physically, and it's just I don't understand how that works because she also time loops. Excuse me, I'm burping. I don't know why. I'm just talking more than I usually ever do in a day. I've already said more words than I usually do in a day. But, so, at the beginning of the movie, he's in an office giving her the paperwork for the house she's about to get. And then she goes and gets it. And then later on, she's in the time loop part right now. And she goes up to the building and like, oh no, I gotta stop myself somehow. But it's a time loop, and the father is in the building where she was. And I don't understand it. Time loops don't usually work for horror movies. It's not a very good thing to do in a horror movie, I think. Time loops are just confusing in general, because then you gotta understand, like, wait, what's happening with the time loop? And it usually makes no sense. And I think these two are really similar in their awfulness, I want to say, because of how they present the time travel or time loops or whatever, and the ghosts. Okay, so one of the scenes I think was pretty good. In The Abandoned, there was a tense moment where this was more of just like a tense moment because of they were hurting a baby. That's the tense moment. The father was drowning one of the oh wait, no, there was two babies, wasn't? No, there was just one. The father was drowning. Wait, no, there was two. There was two. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry for that. I'm an idiot. There was two babies. One was being eaten by the pigs, and the other one was being drowned. And I think the drowned one did die, which also now I think that doesn't make sense with the brother being there. But okay, the tense moment was where it was just basically we're gonna hurt the babies. One was being fed to pigs, one was being drowned by the father, and the mother had to like shoot the father. I think in that scene, yeah, yep, okay, and which horror fest was this? This one was horror fest. The Reeds was horror fest 4, so maybe the Abandoned was horror fest 3 or 5. Let me look at the year. 2006. Oh, oh wait, no, this was from 2006. They're 4 years apart. Okay, I'm sorry. They're not anywhere close to each other, but they're very similar movies, and I don't recommend watching them unless you just want to collect horror movies and say like, "Oh, I have this," because the After Dark horror movie collection is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Um, but overall, they're fun. The After Dark horror fest movies are fun movies, especially if you get the ones with like the auditionings and all those things. Those are also fun because they have clips from people who were sent in their own clips and tried to win a contest to see who could be Miss Horror Fest. And it's just fan service basically. It's basically like anime fan service but with real life people because they're all slowly dressed in bikinis and all that, and they're all like boop 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 boop. So if you like that kind of stuff, they're there. But actually, there are some edition tapes that are funnier. They're actually there's actually one that actually has real edition tapes. Like, we are gonna be doing this thing. Like, there was this one girl who did a skit. Okay, this is going off topic from the movies. The movie topic is done now, by the way. I'm rambling now about the After Dark Horror Fest. But this one girl, she decided she was going to be a first victim kind of girl because she kept like, my first experience with horror was in this one place, and she was like, then she was like taken in the woods by Jason or whatever, and she was like, and after that I was hooked. And she has this she does this skit where she keeps being in horror movie situations because she likes the thrill of being in the horror movie situation, and it's pretty funny. I recommend watching those if you can find the disc. I don't know which one it's on right now, but if I remember it, and I guess I'll put it in a future video. Future videos, you can expect those. Uh, yeah, okay, this was Less Ramble with Jezebel. I stole that from Let's Ramble with Ray. I'm gonna be honest. I stole that from Let's Ramble with Ray from Dawn Somewhere. What else is there? Staring Contest. That's boring.